Ambulance service. Is the patient breathing?
Barely.
Okay. Is he breathing right now, though, even if he's...
Is he breathing, Tom? He keeps taking big dark breaths. Basically, my 6-year-old stepson is fallen. He's banged his head.
Okay.
And while he was on the floor, he's banged his head another 5 times.
Okay.
He's lost colour. He's got a big lump on his head.
Is he awake?
So what, sorry?
Is he awake?
He's half in and out, but he's banged his head quite hard.
Is his breathing noisy or abnormal?
Is it noisy or abnormal? It's barely there. He's barely breathing. He's in and out. He's taking hard. He's basically been treating us all like shit. He's threw himself on the floor. He's headbutting the floor. I'm trying to pick him up in the process. He's headbutting me in the process.
Okay.
I've got him up. He was breathing like a little bit better at first.
Yeah.
Washed him down, put some water down him, tried to obviously get him like, a bit more colour in him, but then obviously I've seen the lump on his head that he's done to himself.
Right. Help's been arranged for him. Okay.
Yeah.
Try and keep calm for me. Can you get him lay out flat on his back?
Flat on his back.
How old is he?
He's 6, nearly 7.
6 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, there is me.
He's losing colour. He's very pale, but obviously it's a big bang. He's knocked himself out by the look of him.
And he's barely breathing now.
He's breathing. He's barely breathing. He's lost just at the minute.
Just briefly, what happened?
Yes. Basically, he'd gone out to get me a birthday cake and stuff for the kids. Arthur was told to sit on the thinking step. Arthur's put himself all over the floor. He's banged himself off the radiator. He's hit me. He's kicked me in the process of me trying to get him back on the thinking step. He's then gone on all fours on the floor, and I've told him to get up. And I shut the door over, and all I heard was a crack off the floor. He was headbutting the floor on all fours. Headbutted the floor once, said, "Arthur, get up, you're going to hurt yourself. I've phoned your dad." He went, "I don't care." At that point, he was fine. And then he dropped his head again as I've tried to bear hug him and pick him up, and he headbutted the floor 3 times.
Here on this
carpet? Round about, the door was shut, so if you go in, I'll show you. Because it's probably about here his head was, but it's concrete, there's no underlay under that. But he'd banged his head 3 or 4 times. Obviously then went to pick him up. He'd knocked himself unconscious. I picked him up, put him on the sofa, poured water in his mouth.
So you come in, he's banged his head 3 or 4 times here.
I was in the kitchen, then I'd sat down in the living room, and that's when he threw himself on the floor.
And you heard him banging his head?
I heard him bang his head.
So what did you do?
I came out to him and told him to get up. He told me no. So I tried to bear hug him and put my arms underneath him and pick him up. And he dropped, and he banged his head another 3 times off the floor. And as I picked him up, he hit me and he kicked me as I was trying to get him up.
And then what? So, and you went...
I picked him up off the floor.
Yeah.
Tried to put him on the stairs just to get him to... But his head's obviously going out, so I put him straight on the stairs. I said, "Wherever you've got to phone an ambulance."
So he's unresponsive?
Yeah. Like I say, he's like, the last 6 months, he's battered both my kids. He's smashed this house to pieces. He's battered his dad. He's hit me. When I tried to get him off the floor from headbutting the floor, he headbutted me and he kicked me and he's hit me. Yesterday we went to my friend's house and he pushed me down 5 stairs. "You're not my real mum, I hate you. I'm going to get my mum to kill you," he said. And even so, I've done my best for that kid. He me. I tried to get him off the floor.
The phone call and video clip you just saw was that of Emma Tustin, the stepmother of Arthur Labinjo-Hughes. In August 2019, Thomas Hughes met Emma Tustin on the dating website Plenty of Fish. Her 2 eldest children had gone to live with their fathers. Thomas introduced his son, Arthur, to his new girlfriend early on in the relationship, and she later claimed that they were friends straight away.
Arthur, are you going to play for England? No! Why not?
After when I've played for Liverpool, I'm going to play for Tottenham.
So you're going to play for Liverpool, then Tottenham. What about England?
After when I've been Tottenham.
Things weren't good for long, if at all. By May 2020, Arthur was frequently forced to stand in the hallway for hours on end as a punishment for his supposed misbehaviour. Tustin reported these incidents to Hughes via text messages and audio clips of him crying. In these clips, the child could be heard crying for his grandmother and uncle, and at one point said, "Nobody loves me." Thomas Hughes and Emma Tustin would often call him Satan, Hitler, Devil Child, Weasel, and other various swear words. Hughes frequently threatened violence against his son, so much so that Arthur would frequently tell teachers and classmates his father wanted to kill him. Emma Tustin said at one point to Thomas Hughes, I want you, but I don't want him. By the end of the month, he was moved out of Tustin's son and daughter's bedroom and made to sleep on the living room floor. He was kept there even when the other children slept elsewhere. When Arthur's school reopened on the 8th of June 2020, he was not in attendance. Thomas was contacted by the school about the matter, but provided various excuses for the child's absence. The couple installed a camera at home to monitor Arthur during his isolation. Arthur spent 35 hours of the 3-day period between 12th and 15th of June in the hallway. He was slapped by Tustin for entering the living room at any given time. The camera also recorded the couple and Emma's children enjoying food and leisure activities which Arthur was not allowed to participate in. On the morning of the 15th of June 2020, Emma Tustin woke up Arthur by ripping his bedding out from underneath him. She then took him with her to spend most of the day at her hairdresser's house. Throughout the 6 hours or so she was there, she forced Arthur to stand by the door and frequently shouted and swore at him. Arthur collapsed to the floor as they left the hairdressers, but was not helped by either Emma or his father. Later that evening, Thomas belted Arthur on the legs. Thomas also told Emma to just end him. The footage I'm about to show you is Arthur the morning before his death, the day after the 16th of June 2020. The phone call you saw earlier was from that day. I must warn you, it's very distressing, but needs to be shown.
You had fears about what was happening to him, didn't you?
I did. Thank you for inviting me, and obviously I'm here on behalf of Arthur and his mother, Olivia. I last saw Arthur on my birthday, 21st of October. Firstly, Arthur was the happiest child. He was very, very much loved by everyone. He was my daughter's baby bear, and he was my sunny delight. He was always happy, and that's why I called him Sunny Delight. Mm-hmm. He was gentle, caring, compassionate. He had a wicked sense of humour. He really did. He was just adorable. I saw him on the 21st of October, which is my birthday, and as I say, he's very happy-go-lucky, and Arthur always had, as my daughter said, it's only something a mother would notice, but he'd lost the sparkle in his eyes, if that makes sense. And his dad came to pick him up, and Arthur said to his dad, "Is she in the car?" And his dad said yes. And Arthur started to cry, which isn't like Arthur.
When we're saying she, you mean...
I'm assuming it was Emma. And Arthur started to cry, and he said, "Grandma, can I stay with you?" And he was due to see his mother the following week, and he was so excited to see, you know. And then on the 23rd of October, out of the blue, I received a WhatsApp message from his dad saying, "You've never seen him again.
Oish.
He's not seen his mother again. You know, he's not going to have any letters off his mother again, and he's not speaking to his mother again." And that was it. That was the last time I saw him, till intensive care.
Did you try to contact again?
I went round, I kept emailing him, WhatsApping him, saying, you know, why? And he said, "I've got my reasons." And when it came out in court, it was all different reasons. So I still don't know why I was stopped from seeing Arthur. I went round, I said, "What about Christmas presents nearing the time?" And he said, "If you come near the house, we'll call the police." So I went round with my son Alex, who Arthur adored, the two of them together. And I put them in the porch. And it later transpired in court that Arthur never got them. They were underneath the bed, still wrapped.
So Arthur felt that there was nobody on the outside.
That no one loved him.
Outside, there was nobody loved him. And you were also involved. Arthur's paternal grandmother got in touch with you, didn't she, about the bruising?
Yes, she did. I was at work. I think it was the 16th of April. I was doing a 7/7 shift, and Joanna sent me a text message, and I thought, Joanna-Hughes, I haven't heard from her for ages. So automatically, you panic.
Of course.
So I phoned her and said, you know, what is it? And she said, "Oh, it's nothing to worry about, don't worry." And I said, "Well, I'm working till 7, I'll be home about 8. And shortly after that, I thought, I can't work the rest of my shift without knowing what's happening. So I phoned her and she said, "Is it all right if Chris, that's her husband, and I come round tonight?" So they came round at 9 o'clock on the evening, and I said, you need to fill me in, what's going on? And Joanna said they'd found bruises on Arthur. And I said, "Bruises?" And Chris said, "Have you got them?" And she said, "They're on my phone." So she went and got her phone out of the car, and she showed me. And straight away, I said, those are non-accidental injuries.
You're a nurse, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight away, I said, "These are non-accidental injuries." I said, "They're caused by an adult hand." I said, "His right shoulder, I can see 3 fingers. I said, "His left shoulder," I said, "that has been caused by hitting with something or being pushed against something." But the most disturbing thing to me, and I said this to Chris and Joe, I said, "There's new bruises on top of old," which tells me this has been going on. And, there's yellow bruises, there was purple bruises, all over his back.
Take your time.
And I just seen them, I just imagined the pain Arthur would have been in, receiving those bruises. So Joanna and Chris said they'd phoned social services. So obviously about 9:30 at night, there wasn't a lot I could do. So thank you. So the following day, I phoned social services, and I was told that they'd been out the day previously, and they didn't find anything untoward. There was no bruises visible. So with that, I phoned the police. Again, I was told by the police, we were there yesterday, the house was immaculate. And I said, "So an immaculate house doesn't constitute child abuse then?" And he said, "Well, we've got nothing to answer to, And that was that.
Jurors heard how Arthur's other grandmother alerted social services with her concerns. They visited, but put his bruises down to what they described as child play.
The circumstances around the death will be now subject of independent review, the local child safeguarding practice review, and clearly it would be inappropriate for the partnership to comment ahead of the findings of this review.
Absolutely, Arthur's been failed, but the circumstances of lockdown created a situation where the professionals that would ordinarily be involved in his life weren't. And therefore, I do think lockdown created the perfect environment, if that's the right word to use, for this campaign of torture and abuse to go unnoticed by people.
So as you can see, Arthur's carers, who were meant to be there for him, who he relied upon, failed him. They hurt him, abused him, tortured him, did everything but love and care for him, as a carer or parent should. These people are scumbags and should never see the light of day again. Emma Tustin was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 29 years, whilst Thomas Hughes was sentenced to 21 years for manslaughter. The whole nation was outraged and saddened by this incident, me included. Luckily, his name lives on, and hopefully his story prevents more things like this ever happening ever again. This is all too common in the United Kingdom, with people such as Baby P and Star Hobson suffering a similar fate. I will cover these cases soon, but Arthur deserves his own video and his story to be heard. If you haven't heard of this story, I'm sorry for the shocking nature, but it has to be heard for change to be made. Social services are getting a whole revamp due to this case. Arthur loved superheroes, and even in death has become a superhero himself by helping prevent future cases just like his. No one was there to help him. He begged for help, and others begged for help, but no one helped. In death, Arthur is helping many others, so we can only honour him by keeping his name, memory and story alive. God bless this little child, and may he rest in peace.